The real root for the suffering is happening inside the desires. Whenever the spinal shaft is unlocked, the air tightens your spinal cord and it is revealed that the humans have no nature to find their real self. Once you start awakening your spinal cord with your air, and once this air travels through the oxygen and carbon dioxide, you will start living in the present. And that is the bliss. The stage of a human whenever he lives in the present. This is where my preaching begins. It always begins with the present. And the presence lives in the God. 24/7, the consciousness of the God should tick in our heart. We must never suffer. We must never let go of our ego. We must never let go of our jealous. We must never let go of our instincts of negativity. If a person lives like this, he must always suffer. But if a person lets go of all the egos and the jealousy, other than all this nature of a human, he can become the God. The nature that he forgets is the nature of the root, the soul's consciousness. Once the soul is conscious about its real self, you always become God. The nature of the body is taking in the Maya. And this Maya is being instincted each second to not find God. This is not finding God in the 24-hour clock. It is always finding the outer world, the engagements of nonsense world. And that is where we suffer. We take everything inside through the breath, and this breath is stored in the spinal shaft of the 32 hajaras. This is called as hajaras, as I call it, the shaft. The 32 shafts are being manipulated by this air, and this air is blocked in the spinal cord. And once the spinal shafts are released, we are not supposed to even enter the samadhi by manual, but automatically the moksha and the mukti arrives. We are free from the karmic substance of a human being. The karmic substance is stored inside the spinal shaft. Each human must understand what he really is. The real self of a God is right in your brain, right in your mind, right in your heart. It is always ticking. When you're dead, the brain exists. When you're dead, the mind exists. When you're dead, everything exists, but the only thing that disappears is God. But the body is always stood ground and nobody can save it. Nobody can bring back the soul until the soul decides to come in and get in the body. This is the stage a human can forget everything and he can become the conscious person. Whenever there is a stage that a human wants to unlock, that is the stage, that is the resident, that is the real home, that is the dimension of God. And you all must reach that stage in order to acquire all the peace and all the real selves and the real origin. And that is where we all are present. We are not present in the future or the past. We are present out of the dimension. The dimension that we call as planet Earth is not a real world. We all must seek our knowledge, and we should travel across zillions of light years away in order to find God. That God is the only option for all the suffering and the root of all instinct negativity, and you all have to come out of it. The great saints and my great gurus have given the gift of Kriya Yoga, the technique, the powerful technique in order to obtain God. Temples, mountains, all these are the places of God, but there is no God in it. The atomic particles which are present as your human body vehicle, it is just present because we are all gods. We are all God's particles, and these particles search automatically. You don't even need to just find the God whenever you are just depressed or suppressed in your life. The God's particles automatically make you search, where is God? Who am I? And where do I need to go after this? And this is the root of each human nature. So each one should understand the Kriya Yoga makes you to reach the Supreme just by looking at the eyes of Samadhi. When you awaken the third eye, that is the end of your body, the spirit. That's the only way you can reach the God. But